You've been together for 60 years, writing. How is that possible?
Well,
Who knows? We did it.
so it's a long-term argument. We started arguing the day we met, and we haven't stopped, and it's worked so far.
How'd you meet?
On the telephone. Jerry.
I was supposed to write. I was in junior high school at the time. I think I was about 17.
No, you were in high school, not junior high school.
High school.
17.
That's right. High school. And I was writing with a musician in Fairfax High.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Jerry.
I don't even think it was Jerry, but what's the difference?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, he was a drummer.
He was a drummer, and he one afternoon came bursting down the hall in school, and he said, "Leiber," he said, "I can't write with you anymore." He said, "My father died, and I have to go to work, and I won't have time for that." He said, "But I do have a guy's name on a card that I played a dance with this past weekend, and I think he plays his ass off." And
He's talking about you, yeah?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know who's talking about.
Talking about you. Don't be difficult today.
You guys are friends.
Yes.
Do you live near each other?
Not that near.
Yeah. Now, I want to hear about how you wrote in the story about writing 4 songs in one day.
An Elvis fan, huh? Well, we were in New York. We lived in Los Angeles at that time before we moved back to New York. And we came into New York for a few reasons. The music publishers who handled Elvis Presley music were there. And also we had just begun to produce for Atlantic Records. And so we came into town, and we had a hotel suite, and we put a piano in case something struck us, the muse. And the music publisher, Gene Aberbach, gave us a script for Elvis Presley movie. And we were having so much fun in New York, going to the theater, jazz clubs all night, having a great time, that we forgot to look at the script because, it didn't sound like... And on one particular morning, I think it was a Saturday, we were just having some coffee, and Gene knocked on the door, and he said, "Boys, where are my songs?" And Jerry said, "Don't worry, Gene, you'll have them." He said, "I know I will have them because I'm not leaving till I get them." And he pushed a big overstuffed chair in front of the only way out. And he said, "I'm going to take a nap. And when I wake up, I expect to have my songs." So we did. We wrote 4 songs in about 5 hours.
The most we'd ever done.
What were those 4 songs?
Jailhouse Rock, Treat Me Nice, You're So Square, Baby I Don't Care, and I Want to Be Free, which had a special meaning for us at that time because we wanted to get the hell out of that room and go back and have a good time. That's how that happened. It was fortunate for us that he was that persistent and demanding, and that he took a nap.
Which one is your favorite song?
Oh, God.
One of my favorite records is Big Mama doing Hound Dog.
Absolutely.
And another favorite record is Peggy Lee doing Is That All There Is. That sort of bridges the gap between the blues, which we were very much involved in, and theater songs and art songs, which we started writing just a few years ago.
Right. For me, I always answer that the one I'm writing right now. It's always the one I'm working on, because when you're working on something, it's very exciting. And so my favorite song is whatever I'm writing now.
Yeah.
The book is, I don't know what to say about it except that I'm pleased with it. I think Jerry's pleased with it. And everyone who's read it
Likes it.
likes it. They find the way that it's spaced. Because we did this with a guy named David Ritz, and he taped Jerry, a lot, and he taped me a lot, and he taped the two of us together a bit as well. But the way he put the book together, there's something by Jerry, and then there's something by me, and it goes back and forth. Sometimes we're talking about the same thing with different information, because that does happen.
Sometimes
After
the two of
50
us
years or
would
so.
debate like this, and there would be cross conversations, and
Exactly.
cross references.
Very conversational. And you're also at NARM 2010 for an award.
Yes, we
What
are.
kind of award do they give you at NARM?
They give you an award. I don't know if you can hang it or use it as a doorstop. It's called a collaboration award. And I'm told
Like the
that...
Nazis.
Yeah, collaborationists, yes. And I'm told that this is the second time they've given such an award. And the first time was Ashford and Simpson.
Very
But
cool.
We're not as pretty as they are, so we came in second.
What do you think about musicians who write their own songs? Do you think that's the way to go in the future, or do you think that it's a great idea for musicians to collaborate with writers such as yourself?
I think that's a wonderful idea. However, I think that some musicians write songs only because they'll make a bit more royalty, if they do an album or something, and they are writers of the songs, and other singers write songs because they're very good writers. I mean, the Beatles, I think, wrote wonderful songs. And then there were other groups that came along that needed help and didn't ask for it.
What advice do you have for children who want to go into the music business, or actually be a writer for a musician, or do it themselves and sing their own music?
Gosh, I don't know. It's very rough today, because of the fact that most recording artists write their own material, and it's complicated. I wouldn't know if I was starting out today, if Jerry and I were just starting out. I don't know.
I would say listen to the music that's caught your attention most of all, and listen to all of it if you can afford to buy the records, and listen to them over and over again, especially the hits, because every hit has something positive about it. And there's no really I don't think there's any lucky streaks out there. Even the ones that are called lucky have some quality that's arresting, that is important. And it all depends on who we're talking about. What children are we talking about? 3 to 7 or 17 to 25? There would be different things to talk about with the selection of the group, and how old they are and how much they've been exposed to writing and reading. That would have a lot to do with their selections and what to consider for them to absorb.
What music do you listen to now?
We live in LA, and I don't have a radio in the house that really works, but I have a radio in the car, and I'm tuned to the classical station and the jazz station. And I've always been a jazz fan. I think both Jerry and I started out as fans of boogie woogie and the blues. But in addition to that, and I think it's true probably of both of us to some extent, but I was a major jazz fan as a kid. and I listened live, to Charlie Parker and Miles Davis and Dexter Gordon and wonderful bebop musicians. Now, if I'm not listening in the car, I listen to either classical music or I got into a lot of Brazilian music, Brazilian jazz, Brazilian pop music.
What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I like to listen to certain kinds of, I like to listen to contemporary things as well, but I like to listen to certain kinds of classical music.
You listen to a lot of French Impressionist music. I know that because I love that too.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your award. I'm looking forward to reading your book.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.